Welcome to the latest episode of Platform Podcast. Today's guest is Miguel Martinez, aka the voice of Winterclash.
Once again, are you ready, Winterclash?
Miguel is one of the driving forces behind Winterclash. He MCs it every year, in addition to MCing at a bunch of competitions all over Europe. He is a larger than life personality. From what I understand, he speaks multiple languages. He's also a very big advocate for protesting against racism. He's a huge football fan, and that's pretty much all I know about Miguel. He's a bit of a mystery. In all the years that I've went to Winterclash, I've had very few interactions with him. When we're at the event, he's normally very busy, so I don't really get to chat to him there. Just a kind of brief, hello, how you doing? That's it. And then we're both going on with our business. Even on the final evening after the pro event's finished, don't ever see him out. But then again, this year it never ended till about midnight, so I imagine he was just absolutely shattered. I have heard from a few people that he's a bit of an entrepreneur and has a few business ventures going to support himself. The last I heard, he was living in Germany, but he asked me for the time in Eindhoven today, which makes me think he might still be in the Netherlands. So lots to talk about, especially Winterclash 2025, how it went for him, the various controversies that were going on with Andy Wagner from Razors and the kind of stuff that he was getting up to. There was also a bit of drama surrounding someone with a free Palestine sign during the Hanglosers Bowl Jam. So he may want to address that. Want to talk about his other ventures, how he supports himself financially, how it differs, kind of MCing Winterclash versus other events, and just if he has any stories or like things he would like to reflect on or things that were memorable from him, because he's been involved in the scene for many years. Everyone knows who he is, and I imagine he's got up to some stuff. That's enough rambling from me. Cue the music. Good evening, handsome.
Good evening, beautiful.
How you doing?
Fine, how you doing?
I'm good. Well, actually, no, I'm not. I'm still definitely ill from Winterclash. I'm pretty sure.
Still,
I'm pretty sure just every year we go now, we just get some form of
10
coronavirus.
days. But what is it? Just a flu or?
Just like sore throat, cough. Yeah. Yeah,
I
something's.
just heard from Blake he was ill, seriously ill, but also kind of flu. I don't know if he got better. I
Okay.
hope. I will message him after that. Yeah. But you went to work.
Oh yeah, yeah, off. There's no time off. No, straight
What
back
do
to it.
what do you do?
I work for a company that does television subtitles for deaf and hard of hearing people.
Nice.
So all the subtitles you see on whenever you're watching your football matches, I'm the one doing the subtitles. Yeah.
I don't need to speak all languages.
No, but like as in it's in the same language, not translated. Yeah.
But
Um,
do you write the text or program it, or what do you do?
it's a mixture of both. So sometimes if it's too difficult or there's too many speakers or too much background noise, we type it. Other times we get speech recognition to do it and then we correct it. There's lots of different ways you can do it.
Nice. And it's for, you say it's for blind people? No,
For deaf people.
for deaf people. So they just can see it. Okay. But
So
then
like
they
if
see the game also. No, because my friend is doing the blind radio for my football team.
right, okay.
And it's interesting because since it's for the blind, it does use a more geographically description of the football. Because some people see it live, but also some people just hear it. You don't have the pictures, just what you hear. So you need to know when it's coming through the left, when it's a long or a short pass, coming to the right, who is running faster. He needs much more description of what happens than when you just comment the pictures that everybody is seeing on TV.
Yeah.
And
We
it's
actually
super
do that as
interesting.
well. Yeah, we do audio description as well. So
Okay.
yeah, that's that. Um, why were you asking what the time difference was in Eindhoven? Are you still in Eindhoven?
No, but instead of saying Hamburg, because I wasn't sure I'm from Hamburg, or instead of writing Berlin, because all hipsters go to Berlin,
Right.
I just thought about saying Eindhoven time since it's the same time.
So I did know you. I thought you lived in Hamburg. That's what confused me because I was like, why is he?
I
How's
moved there.
right? Okay. Because you're not German though, right?
Do I look German?
No,
Really? No, I'm not. It's complicated. I'm born where rollerblading was born in Europe. Where was that?
I'm gonna say Marseille,
No, Lausanne.
Lausanne. Okay, Switzerland, right? Okay,
I was born in Lausanne. I lived there my first 16 years. My parents are Spanish. They met in Switzerland. And then I moved back to Spain, close to Barcelona, 100 kilometers southern. And after 6 years in Spain, I moved to Germany first to the Ruhr area in central Germany, and then 1 year later I moved to Hamburg, which is now 28 years, something like this, I think.
right. So where did
Um,
the? So I'm guessing the obsession for your local football team started when you moved there. It wasn't before,
Later, way later.
right?
So I'm living in Hamburg since almost 30 years, but I go to St. Pauli till 2008, which is 16 years. So half the time I've been here, I've been a St. Pauli fan. Like when I moved to Hamburg, like in Spain, you watch football, you almost have to. But in Germany, foot, German football used to suck. It still suck. It's different than the Premier League, than the Spanish league. Uh, well, it's getting better through the years, but I choose a team that doesn't really play spectacular football. Um, but I did not care for football when I moved to Hamburg. I had rollerblading in my head.
Right.
I did not care about that. It just came later. It came after Spain won the European Championship 2008. I wanted to watch football. I've been before to matches of St. Pauli and also to matches of the wrong team in Hamburg. And and I decided after Spain won the European Cup for the first time, I wanted to go to the stadium, and I went with friends. And the funny thing, after those championships Spain won, 8, 10, and 12, I stopped getting interested in national football, in national football teams, because it's kind of nationalism that doesn't really matter to me.
Right.
And I'm just a fan of St. Pauli.
Okay. Um, I heard quite a disturbing fact about Eindhoven when we traveled there last weekend that I did not know, and you might be able to verify this for me. We were going there, and I was like, "Oh God, it's going to be nice to be back." And then one of my friends was like, "Yeah, we're returning to the epicenter of neo-Nazism in the Netherlands," and I was like, "What?" And they were like, "Eindhoven is apparently a hotspot for neo-Nazi activity in Europe." I was like, I did not know that. And he was like, pay
Mhm.
attention to the lampposts when you're when you're walking around. And sure enough, we just started looking at the lamp, and obviously they've all got lots of stickers on them and stuff like that. And there's quite a lot of propaganda stickers on lampposts around various parts of Eindhoven. I was not
Ah,
aware.
like I know it's not the left wing area. I know the football team. It's got strange football fans. I know also there's anti-fascist groups there in Eindhoven, which I've never met, but I've seen their stickers also. But I haven't seen that much right-wing stickers. I don't really understand Dutch, but I haven't seen that much stickers. I've maybe seen and crossed some, but
Yeah.
because I always have stickers in my pocket. But I did not know it's in one of the epicenters in Europe. I will research that. Thank you.
Me neither. I kept meaning to ask Kevin when I saw him, but he was so busy being abusive towards me that I kept forgetting to discuss that. Um,
What did he do?
he picks on me every time he sees me. Well, actually, first off, he asked why I was putting stickers of myself all over the city, and I had no idea what he was talking about. And then I don't have one lying around, but this woman from the UK had made stickers of me, and then I think she made them of Julian and maybe Biz as well. And she was just sticking them up on lampposts, but Kevin thought I had done it and I was doing it of myself. And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm
So
arrogant.
Kevin was jealous.
I'm
He
not
was
that
jealous.
arrogant. Yeah, I don't know, but he was picking on me for that. And then this woman came up to me at Winterclash and said she was responsible for the stickers and gave me a bunch of them. So that was nice, but still quite strange. Um, yeah, that's quite a weird experience. Um, so how was Winterclash 2025? Have you recovered? What I don't get is every night without fail, after doing the panels or going to a bar or whatever, without fail, the next day, my voice does not work. But all you do at Winterclash is shout and hype up the crowds, and yet you just don't ever seem to lose your voice.
I also never do. I think in all the years I lost once my voice. It was at a FISE a very, very long time ago. Um, I mainly I don't go out when I have to MC the day after. You need 8 hours of rest. And I'm a professional. So I don't go out. When you're at bars, that's when you're shouting too much because you don't hear the other people. And that's where you fuck up your voice. Can I swear? It's okay
Yeah,
for you? Or you get downrated on YouTube?
I don't care.
No one is gonna see this. I'm just an old man. I'm not a fancy rollerblade. I'm just an old man, so no one will watch it. Yeah, so I swear a little bit. Sorry. So if I know I have to talk the day after, I will not go out. When I go out, it's mostly the last evening, if I'm not too tired. Um, and I take care of my voice, and it's almost 30 years. It's a nice muscle. I know how to use my throat.
I was going to ask about that because in all the years I've been going to Winterclash, I don't think I've once seen you at a bar or outside in the evening after the event. Even on the last night, even on the Saturday, I don't think I've ever seen you out afterwards.
I've been sometimes. Uh,
Okay.
s- some people could remember, not a lot, um, because I'm old and tired, and I don't go out to flirt, but I find parties where there's only testosterone, only dudes, somehow kind of boring. But I so the dance parties when Winterclash used to do dance parties, it was really not my thing. I used to do a lot of partying in Hamburg. So when I go to contests, I don't need to go out because I have enough and very good parties at my home. So that I had the habit to not really go out a lot. But I like to go meet some people. So that's why many times, every second year maybe or more, I go out and meet some people, but I will not stay till 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. And like this year, a lot of people went to a pub in the city center. It wasn't really my mood, so I didn't. I don't know. What did you party this year?
I mean, just the usual places you go to the. Actually, we went to the bar next door quite a few times, literally next door to the skate park. Um, and then obviously the usual places like the blue collar and bars in the city and stuff like that. Yeah, nothing too major.
Yeah,
So what was your impression of Winter Clash 2025? How did this year feel in comparison to the other ones?
it was a big difference in comparison to the other years because we had a much more technical and smaller spark. Um, it's fine because it was accessible for everyone. even for the juniors. But it was not boring for the pros. So we still had some fun stuff to do. I haven't heard someone complaining missing the big ramps. I don't
Yeah.
know if you did, but I haven't. Did you do? Did you hear someone
No.
missing the huge
Uh-huh.
things? No.
No.
So we saved some trees, and I think it was super technical, and I enjoyed pro finals. It's like every year it's crazy, but I think we also had in every category an amazing level, which the park wanted to push. I think I haven't talked about Jonas and Yo-Yo about that, but I think they did it on purpose to have something accessible for the other disciplines. Like even in juniors, the Italian rider, the female Italian rider on juniors, what did she try? Sweats and through something? No, I don't remember. She tried. And the
Okay.
way she was doing it, she knows how to land this on a rail, but maybe the rail was a bit too short. If you would have the huge rail we had the other years, maybe it would have been too hard for juniors to take it. And I think we had in every category an amazing level. I really think it's really important that we have the same prize money for both genders and that we have for female also juniors and amateurs. You see every year the level getting better. And yeah, it was like every year. I think it was the audience was really nice this year. It was not for me, how improving is it to MC the finals? It was they were all quite cool and not too anarchistic, and everybody help us having clean finals, so that every rider could have enough space, could try whatever they wanted to try. So I think it was another very good one. Like pros is always it's always out of the world. Even if they don't land all the tricks or some very big bangers could not be landed on the pro finals, but it's always such a top level that I don't want to measure it. But I see the other disciplines, and I see how good they get, and that's nice. I like the way the level we can show. I like it.
I definitely think the course this year just reflects where rollerblading is. Like rollerblading has got a lot more like technical and creative and like trying to put your own mark on things as opposed to I feel like yeah, in recent years where it is more focused on just like big single tricks, that's not really what's happening in the videos in rollerblading. Like they're more focused on, lines and making use of interesting obstacles. So I think that element of it worked. Um the part that I kind of feel bad about is like the pro finals when it's in two heats. And I feel like when you've got like the final and then it's like you've got the two groups. I feel like if you're in the first group it's basically impossible to win because no one the lasting impression is always the final group that everyone sees.
Good point. Um, the first thing you said was, what was the first thing you said? I wanted to answer that also.
Just about the park and like the layout.
I don't remember what I wanted to say. Sorry. Um, that's a good point.
Like no one from the first
Yeah,
heat has ever won.
you've counted it? You checked that?
And I've
You
checked
did
like
check?
like both like even this year as soon as I saw who was in the first heat I was like
Yeah.
well none of them are going to be in the top three and they weren't.
Yo, are you listening to that? Judges, you
I'm just
listen?
saying, like, if you find
No.
yourself appearing in the first heat in the finals at Winterclash, you're probably like, shit, this isn't going to be my
Okay.
year.
I'm very happy you say that, David, because I'm annoying the judges. I've been maybe the last 2 or 3 years to have less people in final. They want to go sometimes with 10 till 15. I say no, 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 because my fear, if in the first half someone makes something really crazy, the crowd could go berserk and fuck up the park. And then I remember the year with Bobby could not do his last trick because the floor was wet. And that's why I'm always like, please, as less people as possible in the finals. The judges have a very hard work. It's very hard to decide who goes in,
Yeah.
and they see so much potential, so they want to take that many people in. And I'm the total opposite. I would love to have old school, like back with Aragon against Niels. It was Aragon and Niels, I think. Uh, um, to have two head to head two riders in the final, that would be like there you can really trash the skate park. But if I have to do 2 times 5 riders, I have to keep on. And it was the first half. I was so afraid the people would start coming into the park. We had this before, that everyone came into the park in the first half of the finals,
Yeah.
and then we had to clean everything. We have to dry some ramps, and that's horrible. So I'm really happy you say this. So maybe next year, judges, maybe maybe
Well,
next
like
year.
imagine if this year, if, for example, either Julian or Nils ended up in the first heat, I don't think they would have been happy about it. They're like, wait a minute, this is making my chances harder here. So yeah,
Yeah, you're totally right. That's interesting. Yeah. There's some I have to write it down to remember that to Yo-Yo next year and to the judges next year because they also don't want to have a very short final. They want it to be a good show for some minutes. But yeah, if no one from the first half gets to the podium or gets to win, then maybe we can forget about that first half. We will see. I'm not a judge. I'm just the dude that have to MC it.
well, like, let's put it this way: you can't get raised up in the arms by the crowd and like carried around if there's still another heat to go, because they're going to be like, well, there's probably someone going to do crazier things next, so we're going to wait for that.
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
may not
that's right.
always be the case. I mean,
Yeah,
Nils, like for example, like Nils and like Anthony Poitier and like actually a couple of guys in the last heat couldn't land their final tricks. So it's like, but that's the lasting impression the crowd and the judges have of those skaters. Like they were the last to perform. So I do think it like distorts it.
yeah, that's an interesting point, and maybe we're gonna talk about it next year, and then we will see how many people we have in final. Then uh, I don't decide it.
Yeah.
I'm sometimes there when the judges deliberate, and I might give my opinion at the one or other rider, but I don't. It's not my job to do. I don't decide. Chain of command.
Oh, absolutely. I know very little about what goes on at Winterclash. Yo-Yo and Jonas tell me nothing. Um, I also think it's like
Me neither. Me neither.
you're actually in that room. I am never in that volunteer room. I think I was in there for like 5 minutes this year.
You're just a YouTuber. What do you want to
Th
do there? You're
this
just
is
some
true.
YouTuber.
I want to listen into all the conversations and then go and tell all the secrets on there. Um, I also think it's
But one thing I have to say for this Winter Clash, you probably did notice it's a big change. I'm very happy. We had this change. I do not MC alone. Blake said he wanted to ride, which he did ride very good for an old man. Um, and then he gave us a hint to ask Gabby, and Gabby wanted to do it, and she did do it, and I think she did great. And it's something that was very special for me because I said to Yo-Yo 6, 7 years ago, I don't know how long I will be able to do that. Someday I will have to pass the mic. So I would like to pass it to a female MC,
Okay.
which we had this year. I will not stop as long as I can. I will do it, but it's nice to have Gabby doing it with me, and I think she enjoyed, and um, and I'm happy to have her on my side, and she did a nice job, and we will see how it goes on. But I think it's also very nice for this kind of progressive contest to don't have just another dude on the mic, but
Yeah.
to have a woman on the mic. I think it's a very nice signal. I like it.
Yeah, I was asking because I came in on I can't remember what day it was, and was looking on the course, and yeah, it was you and that woman, and then I saw Blake upstairs at the bar, and I was like, what the hell are you doing? I was like, why are you not down there? And he's like, I'm a competitor this year. He's like, I'm not working. He's like, I'm here to
I'm
skate.
not done. I'm not
And
done
I
with
was like, all
skating.
right,
Yeah,
okay. And
yeah,
then I was like, who is that?
yeah. And she's not there just only because she's a woman. She's a great MC. She's got a great aura, and she knows skating. She rollerblades and roller skates, and she knows the riders. So I think it's really nice. I enjoyed doing it with her, and I was a bit like the old teacher. This is what we do. We try to do it like this. It was very good together. It was fun to do the ping pong. You do this run, I do the other one. You do this ride, I do the next one. It was really cool. It was a nice dynamic. I enjoyed it, and looking forward to keep on going with her.
Had she had she emceed at any competitions before?
She did some events in the UK. She did a roller skate event, I think, in London. I'm not sure.
Right.
I met her last summer at the Copenhagen B-roll,
Okay.
but we did not speak about emceeing. And then when Yo-Yo told me who that is, I was totally down for it, and I think it worked out.
Nice. I also like starting to notice that Winterclash is every year becoming more and more family friendly. Like you see, like I feel like each year you see like more parents attending and more like non-skaters. Like I mean, you can tell they stand out like pretty easily. And I feel like I think that's quite like a good thing in making it. I mean, you mentioned it yourself, like less rowdy. I don't feel like there's as much. There's some years where the entire park just like stinks of weed and there's just like smoke everywhere. And I feel like it wasn't like that this year.
The new generations smoke less than the older generations. There's a lot of old riders that are parents that want to show their passion to their children, so that's normal. Um, and I asked at the beginning of the finals. I don't remember when, but I asked the audience who was here for the first time, and it was a lot of people. So so it's nice to have new people coming. I met a after the final, a woman from Germany came to talk to me, and her boyfriend was an old skater, which I didn't know, or which I don't remember. And she was here for the first time, and she was totally flashed by the event. So I think it's nice that have people that comes for the first time. I have to ask Yo-Yo if we got just like new people from Eindhoven that just wanted to see what kind of sport event happened in Eindhoven and just came to see a rollerblade show. Maybe we had this kind of people, I don't know, but I think it's good to open it up. It's great that we have riders that want to come because it's one of the most important skate events worldwide, and that take all the time, energy, and money they need to come to Eindhoven to see this. It's nice. It's the best to have this event for rollerbladers, but it's also nice if we can open it a little bit to a mainstream audience that would or could help the sport also. That's nice.
Yeah, I do wonder what the local residents think about it when we just descend upon there for like 4 or 5 days. Because when we first started going to Eindhoven for the event, that area was like semi ghost town. Like it
Yeah,
wasn't like it is now. Now it's like a
it
hipster
was old
paradise.
factory area. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, now
you're
it's like
right.
hipster paradise with like all these like design shops and like gyms and cafe bars and like and like coffee places. And I'm like, I was walking around just thinking, this area is like so developed and like much more upmarket than it was when the event started being there.
But you know the big building in front of the park with the balconies full of plants? That's a social building, I heard.
Okay.
So it's maybe an hipster area, but maybe it's what Dutch do very good in city planning. They mix the areas. They don't do like in Germany, there's the ghettos for the poor people, and there's the rich areas where everything is fancy. In the Netherlands, there, I think in what I've seen, I visit a couple of times different cities in Holland. They are quite good in mixing areas. So it's not only a hipster place, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have all the companies, you have a couple of agencies that represent brands that are in the football stadium. You have a lot of things around, but it's not only the hipsters. And and Dutch people are very empathic. They are very open to new stuff. It's like in Germany, they will hate you. They will something different, something new. They're not from here. They could hate you. If you go in a small city like compared to Eindhoven, don't know if you go to Karlsruhe or something like this. A lot of neighbors will hate it. They drive with the roller skates on the roads and they catch cars, and we're gonna call the cops. And I think Eindhoven is and Netherlands are, even if maybe Eindhoven is the heart of national socialists in the Netherlands. I think the Netherlands are a bit more open-minded for those kind of things.
Right. Okay. Yeah, we've got that same policy in Scotland where any new housing development has to have a certain percentage of social housing and private like purchases, so that yeah, basically it can't turn into that. It can't turn into the haves and the have-nots. Like, it has to be they essentially want everyone living together or everyone to be able to have access to housing anyway. What was it like with the return of the Hanglosers contest? Because obviously we didn't have it last year. I don't actually know why it wasn't there last year.
I think I don't know neither why. And maybe they were too broke, too tired, too busy. I don't know. I don't remember why they couldn't do it last year, to tell you the truth.
Okay, so
It's
what?
it's um it's people like you and me. It's a group of 10, 15 people like you and me that puts their money together to make it possible. So you can't expect them to do it every year, I suppose. I don't know. I'm very thankful they do it because it's amazing. Um, and it's always a huge party, a nice way to start the event. Um, Also, I think the people were very happy it did take place again. I got some messages in advance. Yeah, are we gonna have a hang losers this year or not? And I did not reveal it till it was revealed by them. I saw the video they did, which they are fantastic.
Yeah,
The teaser video they did, I saw it a couple of months before, and it was fun. Um, it was great. It's nice to have them again. I love the crew. Um, I have to say, I had a couple of discussions afterwards. Um, Not bad mood discussions, but they always have those signs like do a backflip, no royale or fakie only, and all those funny signs. And one of them said free Palestine.
I
And
I didn't see that during the event because I was it was the first time I'd ever actually got to like have a decent view, and I was right next to the table. So
so
I
you could not
had
see the signs you were on the
so
backside.
they were facing the fort, and then it
Yeah.
was only afterwards that yeah, someone was like, "Did you hear the booing?" And I was like, "No," because it's so loud that I was like,
They,
"What?"
you heard a booing?
Apparently there was like some booing, and then when I made that Razors video, I used some footage from the Hanglosers thing, and Bobby got in touch, and he was like, "Why did you put the Free Palestine like card in there?" And I was like, "What?" And I didn't even notice it on the video footage either. And then he like gave me the timestamp, and I looked, and I was like, "Oh, right." And I was like, "And you're clearly upset about this, right? Okay." And
The,
yeah,
sa- the same thing that happened to you, you did not see it because you were on the backside, happened to me on a group picture. You've seen on Instagram, they had a group picture where all the crew,
okay.
took a picture, and I did not see that it was that sign. I saw they painted that sign and was like, okay, if they want to do it, okay. But I did not see it on a group picture. Um, I am for free Palestine. I want obviously Palestine to be free. Uh, but I also want Israel to be a secure state, which is also difficult. Both are difficult. When I saw it, I was like, yeah, okay, it's fine. Okay. If they would have put something like from the river to the sea or some other quotes that could be interpreted as anti-Semitic, I would have had a problem with it. But for Free Palestine, it's okay. I want them finally to be free and to stop dying. But I had some discussions. I had people asking me, because I'm a quite political person, why I wasn't on that picture. Um, and then I had the feeling to talk to Bobby and talk to other people from Israel about it. So I had a couple of what I say having discussions. So it was discussion in English. It's got a negative meaning, isn't it?
No, just means
No, okay, so cool.
like
Yeah. So it wasn't it wasn't negatively connoted. It was just we had chats with a couple of peoples and and also with the hang losers. And it's interesting. Like I've been bringing politics to the Winterclash since some years, like having anti-racist, pro-refugee shirts or signals somewhere because I live in a very political area and I'm also a very political person. And I tried to bring some values into Winterclash to make it, to make rollerblading, to give values to the people, to make rollerblading a better sport, to have it more inclusive and anti-racist. That's what I've been trying to do through the years. And at this moment, I think, in my opinion, it was a bit too much because we have Jewish riders also that come and they could be offended. So I think it was too much, and the people I talked to were not very amused. Like you say, Bobby asked you why you put that image. He wrote me very nice messages and why he tries to be not political in his skating, which I have a lot of respect for. I think of everyone in Israel have lost people to the attack, have lost people to the war and through the wars. So I try to be more respectful with those people, with people that come from any war area, because it's everybody talks about this one, but right now, if you look at the Geneva Academy, I think it's more than 120 wars worldwide.
there's
But
multiple, yeah.
yeah, um, I try to be respectful with everyone, but I don't know if it was right to have it. We will still have some chats with everybody involved, and we will see how everybody feels. And I hope no one really felt offended. It was a lot of hate in the internet, but mostly people hating is people that don't plan to come, just are in the web to hate around. So I happily ignore the comments in the web. Um, but I don't want people that come every year to the Winter Clash to not feel included or to feel excluded or to not feel welcome. And a thing happened. One of the persons I contacted got attacked, like not physically. They got insulted just for being Jew, and that's fucking wrong. I don't care how you stand with and for Palestine. You cannot insult someone because the person is from Israel. It's like I live in Germany. If you can hate Germany as much as you want, but I'm not responsible for what Germany does. And some Jew or Israeli are not responsible for what their government is doing. And this happened, and it's totally wrong. And it's the kind of things I think we shouldn't have at the Winterclash. And yeah, it's made it a little bit complicated, but I think it's important. The conflict is so complicated and so intense that it splits people, and it's okay if we are able to talk about it.
So since that I put that video out, there's actually quite a lot of people not commenting on the Andy and Razor situation and the thing with the Chinese guy, and actually instead focusing on you in particular, and yeah, the like pro-Palestine element of just you appearing in the video, and I was like, this has got nothing to do with this topic. And then yeah, they were like, oh, but this guy's always wearing, he was wearing last year, he was wearing a no racism, no sexism, no homophobia top. And I was like, he was like, he's always trying to bring politics into blading. And I was like, that's a rollerblading t-shirt. That's also, that's not politics. That's just humanity. That's just being a decent, like, I'm sorry, do you have an objection to racism, homosexual? Are, what are you talking about? Why would you find this offensive? And I feel like there's a demographic in the rollerblading community that are like, keep politics out of rollerblading. Like it should be a safe haven from politics, or it should be a respite from politics. What do you think about like people that adopt that attitude or want rollerblading to turn a blind eye to politics?
Well, if you want to include queer people, women into a sports world that's been for the last 30 years 99% men dominated, we have to be politic. We need politics because designing an event that's more inclusive is politic. So this thing first. Um, as I said, I live in a very political area. I don't know all around the world, but in Germany, if you pretend to be unpolitic, you open the doors to the right wing. That's an automatism. Like if no one occupies the bar as an anti-sexist, anti-racist bar, at some moment, some racist assholes will appear there. So it's you have to take position, and it's what everyone has been doing around me the last years, and I've been doing the last years also. So I think to have good values, to have a society for everybody, you have to be politic. If you try to be unpolitical, the wrong people will take profit out of it. That's how I see it. I don't know how it's around you or how you see it, but that's how I see it. So if you want to make inland skate a better place, if you want to make Winterclash a better place, we have to take some political positions because it's political to be more inclusive, to be anti-racist. That's what I think.
Even I think even if you're just boiling it down to the rollerblading industry, like the same people that are saying they don't want politics and blading are saying they want their favorite pro skater to be able to live off rollerblading, or they want their favorite skater to get a fair wage or a fair royalty from their skate company. And I'm like, that's political. That is like if you want change in the industry, that in its very nature is political. So you can't pick and choose which elements of it you want to welcome in.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
if you want to improve it, you need to embrace it all. So
And I had some messages. I also understand the people that don't really understand it because the shirt I had last year, which is a shirt by Calvin, by Plastic Pushers, the first word is no anti-Semitism, no homophobia, no racism, no sexism, no discussion. don't think you have all the wordings, but it's what it said on the shirt. And one year wearing no anti-Semitism, the second year having free Palestine, some people could understand it wrong. I explained right now that obviously I want everyone in the world to be free. I want Palestine to be free. But I understand if some people did not understand it. Some people did message me, some did message you or comment on your board. I haven't seen all the comments. The people hearing, if you need to talk about it, feel free to give me a message. I will be probably linked into the video and the podcast. I'm happy to discuss with anyone because I don't want no misunderstandings. Um, it's okay if the people have a problem with it. I had many chats the last days after Winterclash, more than ever before. And if we speak us out, it's good. And people maybe will not have my opinion, but I think I meet everyone with respect and I listen to everyone and we can exchange about it. And we don't need to have the same opinion. That's the most complicated conflict in the history of mankind. We will not solve it in Eindhoven. We will not solve it in Instagram. So it's okay if we have different opinions. It's the whole world is split exactly on that conflict. I said before, it's more than 120 wars worldwide, and no one discusses about it. No one knows which flag they have in Yemen or in Sudan, but everyone knows the flags from Israel and Palestine because it's the media and everyone is focusing so much in that conflict. And it's not the deadliest conflict. It's not the conflict with the most dead children. It's many more other wars we should pay attention to. It's horrible. It happens only in Palestine. But hey, it's fine. If the people want to put the energy into stopping a war, it's fine. I think we need wars to stop. Um, I have a problem when it becomes anti-Semitic, when the people are just in it because it's the bad Jew. This I will have a problem, but I don't want to be anti-Arabic, which I'm not. It's super complicated. So even for me, it's complicated to take a position. That's why I always say, yes, I'm for free Palestine, but I want to save Israel because a lot of people forget also that it's people that need to be saved. They suffered too much through hundreds of years. Yeah. And I want to compare which side's got more loss or less loss. Every dead, every single one is horrible. And every dead children, every dead woman is horrible. And I think it's obvious in educated people. I expect someone, if I discuss with them, to understand that a normal person don't want no innocent to die. That's basic, I
Yeah.
hope.
Um, I was also quite surprised by your actions on Saturday morning. So obviously the whole Razors, well, not actually, I feel bad saying Razors. It's not a Razors thing. It's an Andy thing. When Andy posted that offensive tweet, and I decided, no, that's the final straw. I'm going nuclear, and just posted all the memes about him. I expected that I wasn't going to be allowed into the event on Saturday because
Really?
Yo-Yo doesn't
You took
like
the risk?
Yo-Yo doesn't
When you
like
posted
conflict.
it, you took the, excuse me, when you posted, you took the risk of maybe I will not come in tomorrow?
I mean, I've been given into trouble before for being outspoken. Let's put it that way. But this time I was just like, no, no, you're not getting away with this one. And then the next morning I woke up and you were also posting.
You should have seen me in the evening before, the Friday evening. First of all, when I heard of it, I did hear of it. Um, I don't remember. Tom Goys was on my area when we were emceeing with Gabi. Uh, and the dude from Clark's, what's his name?
Oh, Matthew.
Yeah, Matthew and Tom were together. And I don't know who showed me the story. And you got me, you asshole. I really thought he got beaten. I really thought, nice, some kid threw a skate to his face. I really thought of that. And I was like really happy. So what I did, I called while I was emceeing, I called Dadu, the DJ. I called Dadu, and he was not mixing. Lepsy was mixing. He like, me, yes, come, come, come. And so, me, yes. So he came down to me. We have a very good innovation this year. We have a shortcut between DJ and the skate park. We don't have to go all around. So he came to me, and I told him what happens that Ali talk racist shit, and I saw the stories, and I say, you have you have body count, talk shit, get shot. No, yeah, look for it. So in 2 minutes later, he was at the DJ pult and he put it, talk shit, get shot. And this was so funny. And I was really happy and really wished for him to get bitten. But it was just a meme you created, you
It's
asshole.
just, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I had a lot of
But
people asking me
yeah,
who hit Andy, and I was like, no, those are old photos.
he hit himself. He
Yeah,
hit himself. Yeah. I was really pissed. I was really, really pissed. I finished the MC. I talked to many people about that. I thought a lot about it also after the Winterclash. I think I've been talking to my wife about that. I think I don't want to put myself as a victim. The victim is a person that suffered racism. Every Chinese person or Winchang should be have are the real victims. But I felt attacked because I tried to display some values through the years, and I'm so proud of how the whole scene has developed. I know some writers since they are children. I saw them grow up through the years and try to give them some values, and it worked out, and I'm super proud. Have sometimes daddy feelings with some of the writers. I know them since they were children, and to see that in this world that we have, that I'm so proud of it because there's so few assholes in it, that someone that big with so many followers says something so wrong is such a bad example. I was personally offended. So on Friday night, if I would have met him, I'm not an aggressive person physically. I don't know how to fight. I will have been very, very loud, and maybe we will have had physical contact. Good, I did not see him, but I was really pissed, and I talked a few minutes before Yo-Yo got on stage with the 20 years anniversary show. I talked shortly to him because I could not shut up. And the morning after, we had a chat, and he decided what you posted in your very good um, video about it. He decided to ask him not to come, which is good. And we don't know yet if he. I don't know if he has reacted to Yo-Yo. We will see. Me too, like you said, it's not racist. It's Andy. I did not want to call out the brand because there's nice people skating for that.
yeah,
There's kids that love that brand. There's people that work for the brand. They put so much energy in South and Latin America, in Spain, in France. Friends of mine that do run the brands there. I don't want them to come into trouble. They have families, they have jobs, they have pro models. So I don't want to call for a boycott. I think boycott it's not a progressive way of solving stuff. I think so. I
yeah.
don't did not
I would
want to
agree.
call for boycott. I got tagged in a story that called for a boycott. I did not share that story, but I did call out for him to get kicked out, and we will see how it develops. Um, it's not us canceling. We are the victims. He is canceling himself. So that's very important. He doesn't have the right to try this twist to be the victim. He did cancel himself out of our sports, and I really wish he will he will not appear anymore in our sport, not have a role to play, um, because we have nothing to win from him. He's not bringing anything positive. Since the last 20 years, we heard so many bad stories about him. Tom Goyce did share a video today, which I've watched this afternoon, with a recap of all the riders that been suffering for his crazy businesses. So we don't have any good thing from him. He is also bullshit. He wasn't supporting Winterclash for 20 years. He wasn't.
Yeah, there
He
was
did a couple of years buy a tiny package because he wanted to have a shop there, but he did have 2, 3 years a ramp, but it's not one of the big sponsors. It's never been one of the major supporters. So big up to Grindhouse, to Powerslide. They've been there forever, to Locosclade, to them, to all brands that have been supporting this event and other events and riders since years. There's only two brands you hear very bad things in the sport. One of them is Razors. Uh, um, he never had a fine behavior for everyone. So I don't need him.
yeah, I do, yeah, I thought that was 20 years of support, and I was like, no, I've worked at quite a few of these like events, not just at Winterclash, and Andy always attaches a condition like, oh, I would like to take a portion of the door, or I would like to do this in return for sending riders, or and it's like, don't pretend that you've not manipulated this situation in the past. So yeah, I think Andy was being, yeah, a bit fast and loose with the truth and on that and his apology. But yeah,
That's not an apology.
it
It's
wasn't
a
an apology.
non-apology.
He did not admit to doing anything wrong. He did not apologize to the person he did it to, and he didn't actually in any way acknowledge what he did. He just said he was sorry if people found it offensive, which you're
Yeah.
like,
You are too stupid. You are so wrong that you took it offensive. That's the twist. That's a very, very nice twist. And an apology starts to work when it's accepted. Because you can offend anyone, and if the person is still offended, then you don't need no apology if it's still offended. If no one accepts the apology, it doesn't work. Like I can't call you a stupid basa every day till you start hating me, and then I will say, "Hey, sorry for having said that." And that's not how it works. It works with respect. And he showed he's an angry old man. That's what he showed. He's part of the problem in our society. Angry old men. It's like Trump and Musk, and 99% of problems of a powerful angry old man is one of them. I don't need him.
I was very impressed with the man from Cougar's response, though. He did an interview with someone online, and he was like, "I'm the guy that Andy's made famous," and like basically made a joke out of it. And I was like, "You're right. No one had a clue who you were before this. If anything, Cougar just got a ridiculous amount of free publicity that and attention. It had the entire opposite desired effect." So yeah, that was quite amusing.
I feel so responsible for Winterclash, for the scene. On Saturday, I went to Vincheng, and I said in name of our world, I would like to apologize. It's wrong. No one should say this to you. And and he was also very fine and very nice, and also no remorse. I think he wants to do something into rollerblading. So if Andy will be able to talk to him properly, I think he would accept the apologies, which I wouldn't do. For me, the dude is over. I don't need him in the sport. Like, it's not my event, it's Yo-Yo's event, and I think Winterclash should be diplomatic. I also think everyone should get a second chance, but we're not talking about a second chance for Andy. He had many chances, and every time he proved he's wrong. But I totally respect the approach. I will totally accept and back up the approach of Winterclash. If they say he can try to come next year and behave properly, then I will accept that. But me personally, if that will be my party, you don't come in.
Yeah. Well, there's a rumor floating around that Andy might be handing over the reins to someone else. So we'll see what happens with that. Nothing official has been announced yet, but there's
Again, that is behind what?
that Andy might be handing over. I don't know if it's
Giving
just
over the brand,
yeah.
selling the brand to someone, like what
Well,
happens to
I
football
think
teams in the UK.
I think that's I think that's what's slowing it down because I think everyone would rather Jeff run the brand, but it's whether or not he can afford to. And apparently Andy has offered the brand to Jeff, but he's not accepted yet. So we shall see.
Stockwell,
No,
which Jeff?
no, Jeff Akers
Ah, Akers.
that's worked for Andy for God, must be well over a decade. So yeah, we shall see what happens, but it's just a rumor for now.
I don't care about rumors. That would be nice. Yeah, that would be nice. I really wish he would not appear anymore. We will see.
Um, have you emceed? So I didn't. The very first Winter Clash I was able to go to was the one that was meant to be in Antwerp but burned down and ended up being the first year it was at Eindhoven. Have you emceed every Winter Clash? No.
No, I think my first one was the same than yours. Was this before Berlin or after Berlin?
Oh, before. It was before.
So it was my first Winter Clash. Antwerpen was my first Winter Clash. The legend says it's funny. Have you been to the 20 years party? The 20 years event at the Blue Collar?
No, I could only get one
Okay.
ticket, and I felt bad
Uh,
that my friends couldn't go. So I gave my ticket to someone that could actually go. Because
okay.
yeah,
So Yo-Yo told many stories from the beginning. He was a very naive young man when he started with Winter Clash, and he told me a couple of years ago, he wrote letters, not emails, maybe emails or letters. I think it was letters to writers. He wrote to John Julio, to all kind of brands and people to get them to come to his event. It's a very funny show. I don't know if it's been recorded. If it's been recorded, you have to watch it. It's very funny. But Yo-Yo also says he did contact me if I wanted to come to Mühlhausen and to the one in Aurich to MC it. I don't remember it. I really don't remember it. He says I did not answer. And when he went for Antwerpen, he asked me again, and I said yes, yes, I do. So I went to Antwerpen, and on my way to Antwerpen, I was sleeping at a friend of mine that is a photographer, a French photographer that used to live in Hamburg and lived in Antwerpen because he was into fashion. And I was in the train in Osnabrück in the middle of nowhere in Germany, changing trains. And he called me and said, the skate park where you're gonna MC this weekend, is it San Martin? Yes, yeah, it's burning right now. Then I called Yo-Yo and I asked, and he said, yes, it's burning. So that's how I heard it. But hey, we came we came to Eindhoven, which is the place to be. It's the best skate park right now for Winter Clash in Europe. I don't think there's a better place to have it. Um, you need the size. You need to put
yeah.
1,000 people in there and to have ramps and everything, and to have a back office, to have people building ramps for you, to have room for two trade shows, to have place for food and beverages. And this you don't find it in other skate parks. I think it's complicated. Um, And we even have a city that gives us some money since last year. So, so I think it's very hard to find another place to move with Winterclash, I think. And it's in the middle of Europe, so it's easy for people from Portugal and Spain and Italy and Greece to come, and also from the northern area to come from Scandinavia and UK. So it's got quite good cards, I think. And yeah, we went to Eindhoven, and I also have a lot of respect. I've met through all the years a lot of skateboarders that are too stupid to be able to meet you on eye level, and it's always been respectful with the people in Eindhoven, which I'm thankful and which I respect, because none of them is a blader, and they treat us very, very good, and that's
Okay.
something you don't find everywhere.
True. Yeah. So were you doing, so I know that you've obviously done the Copenhagen Bureau events and you've done FISE. Were you doing FISE before Winterclash?
Oh yes,
Right.
I did 20 years. I did for the first 21 fees. I did 20.
Okay.
Yeah, and I did MC before fees also. Yeah.
So how did this all begin? How did you start doing this? Because it's very random.
Um, I was born in Lausanne, and my brother, like with 16, I left back to Spain because my mother was ill, and she needed another climate zone. So we went to the Mediterranean coast. My brother stayed in Lausanne, and in Lausanne back in the days, you had a lot of snowboarders and skateboarders and roller skaters. Like you remember Ivano Gallardo?
Yes.
Yeah. So I know Ivano since I'm a child. There's also two Swiss legends called Raphael and David Sando.
Yep.
They did win the downhills at the Lausanne roller contests a couple of times, or were on the podium. I remember when I was on my bicycle going to school to be passed over by the bus, and catching the bus. You had David or Luc on roller skates. They went with roller skates to school, summer and winter. So you had a roller skate scene, and then I think 94 or 95 they had the first, no, 94 they had the first roller international contest
Yeah.
um, from Lausanne, and it was organized by a group of people with my brother also. And I missed the first one. I came to the second one, 95, and I helped to build it. It was a year, the Lausanne year, I think was a year with the cop car.
Okay.
That's the
Yep.
year where
Yep.
I met
I remember that.
John Julio, Arlo, Rollison, Angie, Dave Payne, I'm not sure. A lot of people were there. And before that event in Lausanne, I was living in Spain, and I went for 1 month to Lausanne to help build this event. And they had tiny events on supermarkets because a supermarket company in the French part of Switzerland was sponsor of the event. They had on their parking spots tiny shows, like jump ramp, and slalom, like shows were in '95. And I went with them, and they passed me a mic, and I did MC it. And then 1 week before Lausanne, in the spot where we did Lausanne, they had a very big volleyball beach volleyball tournament,
Okay.
and we went there also to make a show. My brother should have emceed it, but he gave me the mic. He pushed me into it. It was like a couple of thousand people there, and I was so nervous. And I did MC it. It was the first time I MC'd. It was '95. So next year it's gonna be 30 years of
Wow.
MCing. And then I moved '96 to Germany, I think, or '95 or '96. I moved to Germany, and I arrived in Hamburg, and it was Miguel from Lausanne. So every blader was, wow, he's from Lausanne. And then they had this event, the Xmas Jam. It was emceed by by the boss of the park, and he had no clue of emceeing, so I took over the mic. I also had no clue, but I had maybe more passion. Like everything was a soul for me. If it's top side or not top side, it
Yeah.
was a soul for me. Um, and I did MC that. Directly after that, I got to go to the ISPO in Munich, where I did MC the shows. That's where I met Hans Geiger, that did do the DIV, the German Championships, DIV,
Okay.
the German Championships, German Inline Skate Association, Deutscher Inlineskateverband, where I started emceeing the German Championships, and everything started rolling. Like I went to Paris-Bercy, I took over the mic in Lausanne for the event. I then Anto from Crazy Roller told me there's this thing in Montpellier called the FISE. We need you, and I went there, and like I, I have the luck to speak a couple of languages, so
Yo-Yo
it
told
was
me
easy.
this. Yo-Yo was like, he was like, Miguel can speak a lot of languages. And I was like, oh, right, okay, cool. He was like, that's another reason why we have him. He's like, because
Yeah.
he can talk to all the writers. And I was like, all right, okay.
So nowadays, besides the juniors, almost all riders speak English. But 30 years ago, it was not
Well,
that
apart
easy.
from the
It was
French
not
don't,
obvious. It was not
The
obvious for
French writers
French, for
don't.
Spanish, for Italian riders. It was not obvious for all of them to understand English.
Yeah.
Even though my English was not. It's not good now, but it was not as good as it is now. Um, so I started emceeing almost everything. 2001, I also did do a TV show because they discovered me at the German finals in Munich. They discovered me, so I started doing a TV show. That's why I went to San Diego to MYTA to do a German TV show about it.
No way.
And
I did not know that. Okay.
yeah, I was very bad. I'm very bad TV presentator, but I did a lot of things. Um, and after 2001, it was the beginning of the down
Yeah.
time for rollerbladers. If I would have keep on making my life as an MC, I will have to do snowboard and skateboard or motocross events, and I like the sports. I like some of the people in there, but it's not my people. I even if I'm a very bad rollerblader, I'm a blader. Like I spent 30 years of my life in this world, and I had the chance to influence it a little bit, to put some values into it. And so 2001, I was like, I I'm not an MC, so I got a standard job, and I just did every year fees and some other things. And right now, it's like when my friends ask me if I can come, if they have a bit of money for me for a flight, or if they can pay me something, I'm really happy to go there and try to represent the sport as good as I can. And that's what I've been doing for the last 30 years, more or less.
What was it like emceeing at Lausanne? Because I was only, I think I was only 14 or 15 when those were going on. And yeah, there was no way I could afford to go. But those seemed like the kind of like dream rollerblading competitions. It seemed more like a music festival than a skate competition. There was like the downhill events. There was all this stuff going on all the weekend. There was like music playing. It was outdoor. Everyone's like camping. That looked to me like the kind of like pinnacle dream inline skating event.
Yeah, it was Summer Clash plus 1000. Have you been to the Summer Clash? We had one or two
No,
Summer Clash
no,
in 2000.
I had never went to
It
the.
was a feeling of the Summer Clash, but not on the side of Berlin, in the middle of Lausanne. And it was also music. I remember the year we have a band called Urban Dance Squad. If you don't know, a Dutch band called Urban Dance Squad. If you don't know that band, Google it. It's fantastic
Okay.
crossover music. They've been doing the stuff. Some years later, Dog Eat Dog or Rage Against the Machine kind of copied.
Right.
They
Okay.
were they were the first ones. I think it was a fantastic group that played there. Also, Lausanne's got a very nice cultural scene. There's that radio station that was a partner at the event called Third Color, Couleur Trois, and we always have had fantastic music at the event. Also, just while we have the finals, it was very, very nice music, which is common today at FISE. They have great DJs. Winterclash, we have great DJs, but it was not always obvious to have great music at events. Um, and it was a crazy event, and I remember I was just a staff worker in Lausanne, and my brother used to MC it, and he's got very no clue about rollerblading, about tricks and everything. And he used to do that with a skateboarder, and they were really bad. And I was already doing the German championships, and I came and say, "Hey, I have to MC it." And my brother said, "No, you have your work to do. You don't do it." My father died when I was 9 years old, so my brother has always been a kind of a father figure for many years for me. And he said,
Right.
"No, you have your work to do. You don't MC." And I was so annoyed by the MC being that bad that I went and took the mic. I think it was the year where Thierry Lallemand won. And I remember I took the mic and started shouting there, and everybody started shouting. Like the mood of the event changed. And I know it was the right thing to not obey my brother and take over. So I squatted his event. And and yeah, it was crazy. Lausanne was like 30,000 people coming there just to see Bladers.
Yeah.
And fees, it's 500,000 people or more, but they don't come to see Bladers. They come to see fees. They come to see BMXs and everything around. It's a multi-sport event, but Lausanne was one sport, and it was amazing. And the downhill and everything we did there. Yeah, it was a nice couple of events.
Was there no way to keep, because I remember that event didn't last that long, well, not in that form anyway. I know they kept having events in Lausanne, but it was never on that scale. I'm assuming it's because of all like the kind of corporate sponsors dropping out that they just couldn't do it to that at that size anymore. Because
I'm
it
not
basically
sure. I'm not sure the corporate sponsor will have dropped. So they had the first year, the two main sponsors. The first year, the two main sponsors were the Swiss Milk Society. Milk is it like liquid gold in Switzerland.
okay.
Switzerland has got an own category of milk. It's Swiss cows are better than the rest of the cows. Please.
Okay.
Uh, like all around the world, you have milk or organic milk, but in Switzerland you have Alp milk. So it's cows that are in the mountains free. It's the
Right.
best milk in the world. It's really, if you're not vegan, it's so the Swiss milk society.
Oh, your microphone's cut out.
Is cut out.
Oh, there we go. Back.
Okay. So and the non-smoking society was a sponsor. So they tried to give values to the children, to not have Red Bull, to not have stupid sponsors. They tried it at the very beginning, and I think those sponsors will have maybe stayed with Lausanne, but it was so big, so complicated. We had so many trouble with the cops because it was crazy in the camping. The first year we had downhill with fire flames
I
because it was
remember
fun
that, the
to ride down with the
torches.
fire flame.
I have no idea how you guys got away with that because I was
People,
like,
it's
that
in
can't
their
be
culture.
legal. Yeah.
You have people in France. It's kind of the culture to burn cars, and then some cars were burning in Switzerland, and it's fucking rich Switzerland where you cannot imagine a car burning. And if three cars burns on Friday night, then you have a lot of cops on the event on the Saturday. And those kind of things started to happen. It was kind of difficult, and the organization team. then weren't all rollerbladers. It was also other sports, and I don't exactly know how and why they stopped, but they did. And then it was called urban contest for a couple of years on the site, more in the center, but also it did not really go out. It did not really develop that good.
Yeah.
They stopped, and then it took over by the team of the skate park of with Diego Lupi and some people. He got took over. They restarted, I think. They restarted the roller inline contest, but I think it never was the same again.
Yeah, I remember when they started doing the contest in the concrete park, and you'd have all like the French and Swiss guys there doing it, but it didn't have the same feeling.
And the concrete part is in the original area of the roller contest. It's where it did happen the years before.
All right. Okay. Huh. So, right. So from all these years of doing fees, like what's it like? Because I feel like fees is the most out of all of them, the most kind of, I don't want to say professional because that's not the right word, but the most kind of like,
Corporate?
yes, maybe that's what I mean. I don't know. Most mainstream,
Yeah,
possibly.
but you have to see France. Like when I grew up in the 80s in Switzerland, in the French part of Switzerland, I had a lot of French TVs. And every Friday night, I had to watch that show called Ushuaia, which is a show about adventure and extreme sports, if you want to call it like this. It's some wrong names, but it was a show like parachute, paragliding, snowboard, the beginning of snowboard in the middle of the 80s, roller skating, skateboard. It was like the first action sport TV show I can remember. And it was every Friday night at 10 o'clock, kind of a prime time, if you want. I think 10 or 11 o'clock. And France has got a tradition with all kind of action sports. With I think wakeboard's been invented by a French dude. I'm not sure. Like they have so many kilometers of sport of course in France. So surfing, windsurfing, wakeboarding, kite surfing. It's quite famous in France. And you have huge mountains, so snowboarding
Yeah.
and ski is very big. And they had Olympics in the mountains. So action sports had a big name before Thai Chris appeared, and then you had also Thai Chris. So blading was very big also in France. We did Bercy. Bercy was it's a place where the basketball finals happened at the Olympics,
Yeah, because
and
it's
maybe
basically like a
boxing or
giant,
gymnastics also.
yeah, it's like a
Please,
giant exhibition hall, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah,
in the
it's a
center of Paris.
yeah,
Yeah.
in the middle of Paris at the river at the Seine, and so France has got a better acceptance for our sports, for action sports than other countries have. In Germany, you kind of an outlaw if you do action sports. I think it was the same in Japan before the Olympics. Yeah, they were very afraid to have skateboard there because skateboarders are gangsters for Japanese people, and so they had to make a couple of events to make skateboard look good. That's why FISE went to China, to Japan, excuse me. Um, so Japan got an acceptance for this, and it did not happen. The feast did not happen in Paris, which is a city that is so full of events. You can see an event. He went to a city that never appeared in any map of his, to Montpellier, which is a very nice city in southern France, which is maybe a little sister of Marseille, but with everything that's nice in Marseille, you can find in Montpellier, but you don't have everything that's bad in Marseille in Montpellier, which I like. I don't want to diss Marseille. I really like the chaotic style Marseille has. That's I live in St. Pauli, which is kind of a similar, or used to be a kind of similar chaotic place. Don't want to diss Marseille. I love Marseille, but Montpellier is not the rich cities like Cannes and Nice. It was on the other side, and Marseille's got a socialist tradition. Always had left mayors that did a lot of for the students and for young people. And when FISE appeared in the city, it was sponsored by the city. So we had this very annoying ceremony at FISE where the mayor and the minister of sports of the area and some politicians come to say a couple of words on a microphone, and all the skaters and BMXers are listening to it, and they don't really care. But okay, when they're done, we're gonna have the final finally. But that's always fine. They give a lot of meaning. Like the three biggest sponsors of the fields, or some of the biggest sponsors of the fields, are the city, the suburbs, and the province
Okay.
around Montpellier. You have three different budgets from public money put into the event to make that event possible. And you need, if you do this kind of event with 500,000 people, you need to work with the city because you need security, you need cleaning, you need all kind of infrastructures that private event can't afford. So fees is huge, but they do an amazing work, I think. Um, I don't know if you know, it's also the people, FISE is the people that brought the UCI, the Union Cycliste Internationale, the International Association of Bikers. They brought the UCI to BMX, so that being BMX part was included in the UCI federation, kind of. And with that, they got also the Olympics to get interesting in biking and skateboard, and it's because of
That's I
fees.
yeah, I heard about that
That's
because it's
because
got
of
a
fees. That's because of them that skateboard and BMX park got Olympic.
that
They
was because I
because not, but
remember
they
that
played a major
yeah.
role. That's also why on fees events you had breakdance and climbing because it was part of the Paris Olympics to have. So they tried to bring some popularity also to those sports. You should do an interview with Johan Bertoneau someday.
Okay.
You know who Johan is.
No, but I did know that the organization related to fees um had something to do with the Olympics because I remember all the skateboarders kicking off that the federation that got skateboarding into the Olympics wasn't a skateboarding federation. It was like an
Yeah,
international rollers that it was like some like it was like all wheels sports or something. And basically they're like, there's
yeah,
rollerbladers in this. These guys organize rollerblading events. And you're like, and they were getting all like pissy
yeah.
that basically a bunch like rollerblading adjacent federation had got their sport into the Olympics.
I think it's a World Rolling Games, no World Rolling.
There was something like that rolling in there somewhere. Yeah, I remember.
Fuck, I don't remember. So one of the oldest dudes at FISE moved over to this association. I'm sorry, Olivier, if you listen. Sorry, but Johan Bertoneau has been at every Winterclash. He was the head of sport of FISE. He's a rollerblader. Um, you remember in Japan this picture of a rollerblader in front of the Olympic rings at the BMX park 4 years ago? That was Johan Bertoneau. Yeah, but Johan is a very cool dude, and he's been head of sport for many years at FISE. I think he left 2 years ago, and he do all kind of events. And he could be a nice, interesting interview partner for you if you want to know more about this history. But I hope I did not explain too much bullshit. But it's kind of how it evolved. Yeah.
Wonder how they managed to get. I wonder how they managed to get skateboarding and BMX into the Olympics, but the same organization couldn't manage to get inline into the Olympics. That's quite interesting. I'm curious to know. There must have been something blocking it.
It's not interesting for the mainstream. I don't know. It's the same reason why we got dropped out of the X Games. I don't know. Oh, it's I really don't know. I really don't know. I wish. No, I don't wish. I don't want it to be Olympics. I don't like the Olympics. It sucks. It would be nice to bring more money into it, but it sucks. Come on. I want it to be like it's right now, to have the Blading Cup and Winterclash as probably the biggest events in our scene. It's in our hands, and you want it to have their rules to regulate us. I
I
don't
mean,
want it.
I think there's valid arguments both for and against. I'm sure there's quite a few
I'm pretty
rollerbladers.
sure. Yes, you're right.
I'm sure there's quite a few rollerbladers that wouldn't mind picking up an Olympic medal and getting a mainstream sponsor.
Yeah, but which kind of rollerbladers?
Joe, Julian, um, the showman of our industry.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah. But for me, yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of the Olympics. I was born in Lausanne, where the Olympics, where is the Olympic capital, the siège, how you call it, where the city of the Olympics is Lausanne. It's
Right.
where their offices and the museum and everything are is. And I'm not a fan of it. I don't need it. Yeah. But I really enjoyed seeing my French friends last summer in Paris. I think Paris did very nice Olympics. They did nice games, but I don't need it. I don't need it for rollerblading. But
Okay.
I'm an old man. In some years, I will be out of it. You young people will do everything you want out of rollerblading.
I'm not that much younger. I'm 41, Miguel, so I'm getting on myself.
10
Um,
years older. That feels a lot. That
oh
feels a
yeah,
lot.
yeah, yeah, I can imagine. I don't even want to know how my body's going to feel in 10 years because it's hurting already. So obviously, yeah, like it's not an income for you doing MC in these events. And I've spoken to a few people over the years who've said you're a bit of an entrepreneur and you've got a a few uh, income avenues. So how does Miguel Martinez support himself?
I used to be.
Someone
I
told me you
always,
run a bar and like that was one of the things you did.
a long time ago, I used to.
Right.
Um, I did many things. Uh, I also did inline skate brand a couple of years ago, long time ago. You remember a French brand called Sudley, a French blading brand called Sudley from Paris. I was a distributor in Germany for that.
No.
Um,
What did they produce?
uh,
Suit
close,
Lee.
close, close. All the
Okay.
nerds go get Google for that. All the French know what it. All the old French know what
Okay.
it is.
I'm going to look that one
Um,
up. That's yeah. I'm an
yeah,
absolute nerd, and
yeah.
that doesn't sound familiar. Okay.
When I moved to Hamburg, I worked with Manuel Weschenbach at RPP. You remember the fat makers? The huge tongs that people were putting in their
Yes.
skates?
Yes.
That was RPP. Manu invented that. We sold lots of it. We had a small skateboard team with all the good Hamburg riders. I'm talking about 96, 7, 98 around. Um, so I did some distribution of clothing. I worked for other brands. I also worked for a BMX brand. And then I starting doing sunglasses. I sold all kind of stuff, and then I started working for a spirits company for Diageo, a big
Yep. I know who
distribution
Diageo are.
of
Yep.
spirits. I worked with a very fine program in Hamburg, tried to sponsoring the best clubs and bars. So that's how I went into the bar world. Someone I knew started a beverage company, a cola. We did a cola lemonade. I don't want to say Coke because it's a brand, but a cola lemonade. And spent more than 20 years. We spent doing our own Coke and beer and mate
I'd heard
and
about this as
beverages.
well. Yeah.
But I dropped out of it. It was a collective, so you don't earn a lot of money with it. It was more it was political and trying to show it's possible to have a better anti-capitalistic way of doing business. It worked, but then after the pandemic, it got so difficult that I needed to take a break out of it. And I started working 3.5 years ago in a very nice theater in Hamburg. Um, it's probably one of the biggest theaters in Europe. It's very huge in Hamburg. And it's also a place that fits very good to me because it's very political, it's anti-racist and pro-LGBTQI plus and queer and loud and ugly. And they have it's just a huge stage for the international dance scene, for modern dance. I do the live music shows there, so we have the biggest stage is 1,200 people fits in there. So we have kind of interesting bands. Last year we had Bonnie Prince Billy or Fever Ray or Ellen Oy,
Right.
just quite nice artists that came to us, and that's shows I do produce as an employee. It's not I'm not doing my own events there. I'm just an employee of this theater, which is a state theater, and yeah, I just work there and do some things on the side. I have a wrestling show. That's why I always wear a tracksuit.
I saw that as
At
well. Yeah.
the Hanglosers, I wear a tracksuit. That's Don Pedro, my wrestling alibi. Um, and I do a couple of things here and there. Last weekend, we were part of a huge demonstration against fascists because the day before the elections, and we knew it would happen, and it did happen. Right wingers took over the majority in Germany, and we will see what happens with that. And we had a huge event here in Hamburg with more than 40,000 people, and we were on a truck shouting "fuck Nazis" if you want. It was funny. I do all kind of things, but I've never been a big businessman. Like you don't earn a lot of money emceeing inline skate events, and with what I do, I don't earn a lot of money, but I have food in my fridge, I have nice clothes, and I have nice friends, so that's okay.
You think those clothes are nice, Miguel?
I do.
Well, as long as you think they're nice, that's fine.
I have more than I can have. I can afford a glass of wine with
And
you.
you've got a glass of wine in your
Oh,
hand,
look,
so
that's no wine for fascists. That's from the St. Pauli Museum, the glass.
like it, like it. Yeah, I mean, what more can you ask for? So, what does the future hold for Miguel Martinez? What are your plans for the rest of the year? Have you got any other events you're doing?
Right now, it's no events
I mean,
planned, I
surely
think.
you're going to Copenhagen. That's got to be going on
Oh,
again this year.
officially, they haven't asked me. I'm so happy. I'm so happy they get me. They want me. They did want me the last 2 years to come to Copenhagen uh, um, because you should come. It's a fantastic event.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try very hard to go this year. Yeah.
I was so proud last year at some weeks before the event, they had this post that said for any queer LGBTQI person on wheels, come to our event, come and challenge our male dominated rules. And I was so proud to read this. It's a very fun event, and I really enjoy um, how they run the events. Yo-Yo was there last summer, and on the second spot, it was so fun to see people try to do so much out of that spot. And Yo-Yo said, in those 10 square meters, right now, there's everything why I started rollerblading 20 years ago. And it's so pure, it's so fun. And we also have in Hamburg this group called Alglatz or Volkorn, the Hamburg Bladers. They do two events. They do an Alicat in the summer and the Xmas Jam in the winter.
Yeah.
You know what an Alicat is? It's like Alicat are bike career races.
Okay.
a bit punk rock bike career race, and they do a blade career race on blades. So you really you leave from the skate park all at the same time. Everybody starts running on blades, and then you have a lot of events you have to check. So you need to visit some certain spots and do something at those spots. But on the way there, you have to take pictures of stickers they have placed all around the city. You have to find people. So 2 years ago, one of the challenges was find Miguel. I was on my bike riding around Hamburg, and when they did find me, hey, that's Miguel. When they did find me, they got like 100 points, but I could give them 200 more if they all give me one of their wheels, and it's not one of the wheels in the middle. I want the first or the last wheel. So at
Right.
the end of the
Okay.
day, I had a backpack full of wheels, and you had those idiots riding around with three wheels instead of four. It was very funny, and they do a lot of very funny events. And it started 3 4 years ago. I remember we had the idea of doing the blade roulette. We did this wheel of fortune where you can run, and then it stops and it says, "Do a true spin topside soul." And it was the idea to do the blade roulette for the event, and that was funny. And then they developed the way of the Xmas Jam to have Xmas Jam next year will be the 30 years anniversary of Xmas Jam. Is maybe the longest running. It did not run all the way. They had some breaks, but it's the longest running event in the world, I think, for inline skaters. I'm not sure, but the first one was 1995. Um, Maybe even 1994, but we're not sure. So we decided 95 this year will be the 30 years anniversary, and um, and the skate park is the same scene since 1998, I think. So it's very boring, and you don't want to do a contest run there. So we tried the organizers. I'm just the MC. I give them some ideas sometimes. They tried to organize another kind of event. They had those scaffolds out of cupboard out of no I would say cartoon like out of paper.
Yeah,
They
yeah, the
had those
cutters. Yeah, yeah.
scaffolds with you
Yeah, I remember that, and people had
with
to like
and you
jump
had
through it.
to grind or jump through it.
Yeah.
We did a contest in the half pipe only under the cupping. So we did if this is the vert, we did a plate here with a rail, so you could only tricks under the cupping would count. So all kind of shuffles, and then you also could negative grind the rail on the half pipe. And they have fantastic ideas. You remember this quarter rail that
I remember they
went
had
to
the
up the wall,
they
right?
had like the dragon thing last year. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So they have fantastic ideas, and I think it's very nice. They bring fun into contest because it's been a lot. If you see FISE, it's people fighting against each other. I want to be the first one. I want to be the world champion. Like spin to win and calculated lines, which is fine. But the young people starting, I think it's better to show them how to have fun in a skate park than show them how to compete against each other. And I think it's very nice that the Hamburg people started doing this, and Copenhagen also they are doing it similar but different. And some people are trying to bring more fun into rollerblading. I think it's nice. I really enjoy watching those events. So if
Yeah.
they want me, they did not ask right now. If they want me to come, I will happily come visit you and MC your event. And if not, maybe I come privately just to watch the event. And if not, we see us at Winterclash. I think Yo-Yo want to have me next year. You haven't asked yet, neither.
Yeah, Yo hasn't asked me. I'm not entirely sure he is going to ask me after this year's debacle, but yeah, we'll see. Um,
Yo-Yo is a very good. He's got very good values. He's a good man. Jonas also is a very good person also. So I think they don't have a problem with that. I I I help them to take the decision to ask that dude not to come again, but they would probably have done the same without my influence because they are very good people. So that's why they will like you, I think.
Okay. Right. I've taken up enough of your time this evening. I'll let you enjoy the rest of your glass of
It's
wine.
fine. How much?
Um,
How long have we been talking?
about an
Two and a half hours.
hour and 40 minutes. No, only,
It's okay.
yeah, only an hour and 40.
You
No,
have more
no.
questions?
I was wanting to know about some, so obviously you've traveled with like all over the world, emceed all these competitions. Is there any
I
moments,
forgot to mention one thing.
right?
NL contest, which also is a very nice event.
I was
They
gonna
already asked me. My next event is gonna be NL contest,
I've always
Strasbourg.
wondered about this. Does Matthias Silhan have some involvement in NL contest?
Yeah.
What's his role in that event? I've always wondered.
Matthias, what exactly his definition is? So the NL contest is organized by a group of people called Nouvelle Ligne, New Line,
Yeah,
uh, um, and it's an association of people, mostly rollerbladers, maybe not all of them. You have David Mougin, which is a David and Nicolas Mougin, the two brothers, which are fantastic halfpipe skaters. You have a very good halfpipe at NL contest. That's the reason why Takeshi also comes every year. So it's a
right.
reason to come to Strasbourg. You can see Takeshi skating, and it's amazing to see one of the best all sports, action sports athletes of all times to ride in Strasbourg. That's one of the reasons to go, definitely. But David and Nicolas also are there, and some more people, and do organize this event, which is BMX, skateboard, only half pipe, inline skate, street and half pipe, as a park and half pipe, and graffiti and live music, and also breakdance and basketball because there's around a sport hall, and it's a very nice event organized by very nice people with a very nice audience also mainstream. It's like a tiny brother of the FISE. It's a smallest FISE with FISE got 500,000 people. They have 50 50,000 people there. That's a lot in 3 days,
Yeah,
and it's really nice. I really like it. And Matthias Silan is I think is he organizes all the rollerblade stuff there. So he
right.
invites the judges, the MCs, and also he writes to all the riders if they want to come, try to make them come. And it's very fun. It's a very easy, relaxing, fun event with nice parties also, because the crew around Nouvelle also to organize parties or run a club or friends with some clubs. So it's very nice. And it's also like the two BMX MCs are very good friends of mine, and you don't have hate at all. You also have scooters, and you don't have hate at all. We share the same park, and you have okay, sorry dudes, we took too long this year. Now you're in, and it's very nice. For me, it's very important to not have hate. Like I grew up with rollerblading in the 90s and 2000 when it was so much fights between people, which I don't like. I don't need. I never wanted to have. Um, I think you can't hate someone because of the tool he uses. That's as stupid as racism. Like, if I don't like people, it's because they are assholes, not because he's a snowboarder or skateboarder or
Yeah,
BMXer. There's also bladers I don't like. Uh, um, I don't care what kind of use. The damn skates collaboration with the weekend they had in the video Discord, it's just wheels, and it's what it is. I love it. I have so much. I written a love letter to John Julio back in the days. It was so nice that he did this collaboration with Weekend. Um, and I love this slogan. It's just wheels because I don't want to hate someone because he uses other kind of wheels. That's so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and NL is a very nice event with a lot of nice riders and different sports, and all are fine. They go partying to the same place, and all are very fine all together. It's cool, and it's 1 week before Winterclash. So I really did ask for vacation 2 days ago, and I will try to go to NL contest first to MC, and on a private trip with my Paris friends, I will go to Montpellier just to watch the Blading Cup,
Oh yeah.
to watch and enjoy.
Yeah.
Because I stopped at the pandemic. I stopped emceeing the FISE, which also is very nice. They have new MCs that are cool. They have a French MC that is cool, and it's finally the next generation on the mic coming. That's nice for me. So the last years at FISE, I did not MC the rollerblading. I was just MCing the live stream or MCing just the mainstream events, and I did not want to do just it's kind of a radio MC if you just do talk about what is happening next at the event to
Mm.
be the main voice of the event. I think it's quite boring, and my French is not that good anymore. Other people are doing it better than me. So I said to Johan, I don't come back. This year I will come back to pay respect to John Julio and the Blading Cup and to see what happens there.
Nice. Right. I've got one last question and then I'll let you go. So you've obviously been at all these events all over the world and witnessed, I mean, yeah, some of the most iconic moments in competition skating. Are there any like standout memories for you or like any events or anything that even like happened while you were at these events that you're like, I'm never going to forget that? Or you like regularly tell a story like to people whenever they ask you, like, do you have any good stories from your travels? Is there one that like instantly springs to mind that's, I don't know, interesting or funny or shocking or whatever that you must have go-to stories that you tell people from all these travels?
A lot of stuff that happens. I will say two things that were really, really impressing. It was Urban Chaos, which was, I think Urban Chaos is older than IMYTA. It was a concept of IMYTA before, made by the French people around Crazy Roller. And
Right.
I remember that final in La Défense in Paris with Momo Silla, which is something like my son. Momo Silla versus Jochen Smuda. And it
Yeah.
was crazy in the middle of Paris when rollerblading was big and it was the biggest in Paris. And that was amazing. And again, friends, again, Crazy Roller family. It's for rollerblading in France. It's very big. You remember Neumann?
Neo Man? Yeah, yeah.
So before I think it was before Salomon FSK. You remember the first they were called FSK when Salomon tried to have like free wheel skates is something between fitness and stunt skates. Like you
Right.
can
Okay.
skate very fast and jump around. So before FSK, Neumann did in Palavas. It was a second or third year of FISE in Palavas before they moved to Montpellier. He did a run on fitness skates on aluminium frames, and he was so fast and so huge. He did on that park transfers only BMXs were able to do. He could only sole or fish brain
Yeah,
grinding
yeah.
because he had fitness skates. He could not Royale. And it was his qualification run, but it's the most impressive run I probably have emceed in my whole career. He was Neumann. I always had this old school rule on contests. If you bail at your first trick, I give you a second chance, which is because it sucks. If you have a 50 seconds run and you bail at the first trick, it's really it sucks. So I don't know where it comes from, but we had the always had restart. Come on, restart. Take your time, drink a sip, and restart. And he was so fast. He had a massive slam on the first transfer, and we gave him some time to restart. And then he made the most impressive run I've ever saw. Jochen Smuda, I think Jochen Smuda did at the end win the contest, but that run from Neumann was amazing. It was another level of skating, and I'm talking about end of the 90s, really really long time ago. But it was so huge, so fast, and he did a perfect run.
I
If
always,
some of the nerds watching have that video, post it.
yeah, I would like to see that. Also, like, I always wonder what happened to Neo Men because the last thing I saw of him, he had the last section in the Kaiser video called The Outsiders or The Insiders or something. And it was, I remember it was to a Radiohead track and it was just him doing massive lines, like just like five, six track lines over and over. And I was like, this, I don't think I'd ever even seen him skate before. And I was like, this, okay. It was just, yeah, it really left an impression. But then he just kind of disappeared.
So I don't know if it's true, but the legend says he works for the French army as don't know the word to use. He's before before a battalion moves, he goes first to check the area. So he's alone. He moves around. He check if there's enemies, if the area is clear to move, and then the army moves around the jungle wherever the French army is. And that fits to his skills. He has a skater. He's got no fear. He can do anything. And now but I don't know. He will be in his 40s. I don't know if he still does that. I never saw him again. Once in a while, I asked the Paris family, what about him? But I don't know exactly. Yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, he was one of the most impressive. Like French brought us a lot of massive talent. Just to
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
Heinemann and Neumann is on my all-time top 10, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd
Some
call it.
more, but I keep Heinemann and Neumann.
Okay. Okay. I think that's, hey, they're two good picks, and Heinemann is still going. So,
He will always go. Heinemann will always go.
yeah. Right. This is getting late. I'm getting out of here. I'll leave you to finish your glass of wine. Thank you very much for taking the time to do this. It only took us. When did I first try to arrange this? About last year. I'm pretty sure it was after
Last year
what.
first,
I think it was after Winterclash
yeah,
last year.
good thing need time. I hope it was okay. Or was it? It's something like what you did expect.
Of course it
I
was.
hope I did not take too much. I did not talk too much bullshit. I hope the politics did not annoy too many people.
I mean, if it does,
Kick
that's
races of rollerblading.
yeah, kick race at a rollerblading. No, I just kind of I like it when they just take their own course, and I try not to have any like questions written down because then I feel like you're just going through a list. I just prefer it when like the conversation evolves naturally, and you talk about what you end up talking about. There's no like, so yeah, no, I think it went well.
You are good at asking questions and letting people speak. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just incredibly nosy. That's
I did not try to offend you, just a little bit.
well, you can save that for when we talk in real life, and there's
Yeah,
there's no witnesses.
it will be next February.
No, I'm gonna try and make it to Copenhagen this year. I've told Quinny 2 years in a row I'd be there and I haven't been there. I'm gonna try this year.
What about Bleeding Cup?
That's too close. I've disappeared for a weekend off parenting duties. So if I say to my partner, "Oh, I'm going away again next month," she's gonna be like, "No, you're not."
Okay, okay. And think about the Hamburg contest. the two Hamburg
Christmas
campus.
jam. Yeah.
I'm glad if you see this, post it under the comments because it's very, very funny events.
Okay. Right. I'll
Thank
speak
you
to you
very
later.
much. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye bye.